cheap manipulation in order to incite people against what I said and to make political profit out of it. Ask them.
So Nadav Lapid, head of the jury at IFI, thank you very much for joining us live. What is it in particular about the film and the way that it's made by Vivek Agnihotri, Anupam Kher, that you found offensive, vulgar, propaganda and disturbing? Let's start from there.
For me, the film is full or based on cinematic manipulations. The way it uses image, the way it uses the sound, the way the scenes are constructed, the way it shows the bad ones and the good ones. You know, moreover, I had the feeling that exactly since we are talking about such a huge topic, such a complex topic, such a tragic topic, such a tragedy, exactly these kind of events, these kind of tragic events, they oblige us to make serious movies. They oblige us to be as serious as possible. And this movie for me was exactly the opposite. This movie for me was really a series of basic and cheap cinematic manipulations.
How do you determine what's propaganda? 250 crore rupees are made by the Kashmir Files on the Indian box office. There were obviously lakhs of people across the country who thought it was a film that they wanted to watch.
You know, I make movies that are very often polemic, that are very often controversial. These movies, my movies, they gained awards all over the world in the most prestigious places, in Cannes, in Berlin, and also in Goa Film Festival. I think that almost all of them were shown there and they are awarded. And yes, there are people who talk to them with the same gravity that I was talking about Kashmir Files. There are people, not few, who write or tell very, very, very hard things using you know, the harshest words, and I accept it. You know, this is what, especially when you do movies.
What is Schindler's List? Is that not propaganda in the same way?
I'll answer your question if you let me finish.
Okay.
Now, you don't expect me now to make an analysis of Schindler's List or of not any other movie. What I can say is that even the most terrible tragedies, the most terrible things that happen might give birth to propaganda and to manipulative movies. And I want to make one thing clear, extremely clear and totally clear. Not for even 1 second, not for even 1 second I thought or I imagined to talk about the tragedy of Kashmir. Not for even 1 second I've been standing there and talking about the historical facts. Not for even 1 second I imagined to put myself inside this historical debate. I don't feel that I'm appropriate to do it, and it's not my role. I was talking as a filmmaker, as an artist, about the cinematic text, and only about the cinematic text. And each attempt to take my words and to turn them to a position inside the Kashmir case is just a cheap manipulation. It's a cheap manipulation in order to incite people against what I said and to make political profit out of it. It's a cheap manipulation in order to incite people against what I said and to make political profit out of it.
You seem to have said, I have that statement of yours where you seem to be suggesting that this is the view of the entire jury. I spoke to other members of the jury yesterday. They've also come out and spoken in public, and they say that you would make this kind of a comment was never discussed. You came and said, we were, all of us, disturbed and shocked by the 15th film, The Kashmir Files. That felt to us like a propaganda, vulgar movie, inappropriate for an artistic competitive section of a prestigious film festival. The other jury members say, that's your view, that's not their view. They in fact are offended and they find your comments vulgar.
My statement and my opinions were shared by all the jury members. We were sitting, all of us, at the screening room. having the same feelings after the screening, saying the same words. Everyone was aware of what is going to be said. I understand, and I have emails and WhatsApps that prove it. I understand that under pressure or fear or anxiety, people can suddenly change their statements, and I don't want to judge them. For me, it's not a personal thing. I understand that someone can be afraid, can feel under pressure, and try to change and to modify what happened. But what I said was clearly.
No, but what evidence do you have to back this? Because I had on the show filmmaker Deepak Sen, who was one of the jury members. He says Nadav said this on his own. This wasn't discussed. This wasn't known to us. We were not part of the same script. Nadav went off, shot his mouth off, and he's embarrassed all of us. Where is the evidence? If you're saying you have evidence, show us the evidence that the other jury members backed you on this.
I have a suggestion, since I guess that you consider yourself as a serious journalist. I hope so. Since I guess that you consider yourself as a serious journalist. I hope so. You can call, for instance, the French jury member, Pascal. You can call, for instance, the Spanish jury member, Javier, and ask them. Ask them.
So we can do that. So karna! Because the others who've spoken have said that this was your view, and you're insisting live once again that this wasn't your view alone, that the other members knew that you would be saying this?
So why are you saying that you can do it? Do it. Just do it. Just take, I guess that you have a mail or phone, call them, ask them.
भैया मुंह निकल जाएगा हमारा ऐसा करेंगे तो।
अब बताइए मैं क्या करूंगा?
अरे चाटना है चाटिए, जितना चाटना है चाट के लाल कर दीजिए।
एक बहुत सिंपल सी टिप आपके साथ शेयर करती हूँ। अपने हाथ को इस तरह से रखिए। If you look at this from your side, आपका लेफ्ट हैंड आपको बी के जैसे दिखेगा और राइट हैंड आपको डी के जैसे दिखेगा। बी एंड डी। बी फॉर
थोड़ी मदद रखिए।
वे मैं थो तेरा मन पर